these guys roll. All right, Wisconsin Republican Congressman Sean Duffy is with us right now. Congressman, let's talk a little bit about this rework to once again repeal Obamacare, that it's gaining some currency, whereas other measures have not. Do you know, as we're looking at the president, sir, where he stands on this, or is just hopeful that something is approved?
Well, we know that the president wants to push his agenda, which is tax reform and health care reform. So the president's on board, and the agent of the president is the vice president, Mike Pence, who you just reported is working on the Hill right now trying to get the votes for this package. If I could say one thing, Neil, it's laughable in the clip that you played of Chuck Schumer saying Republicans are going forward with a blindfold over their eyes. Wasn't it Nancy Pelosi who said we have to pass their bill to find out what's in it? I mean, the hypocrisy coming from Democrats. This is simple stuff. We want a block grant, give more power and control back to our states who know their constituents better and the health care needs of their constituents more than the faceless bureaucrat in Washington, D.C.
Does it bother you, though, Congressman, that the president has chosen to negotiate more with them than he has with you guys on at least key legislative matters?
Well, he hasn't negotiated with them on health care or tax. I mean, on health care, they want a single-payer system, Neil. We want a more free enterprise system.
But on the tax thing, he's also been open to trying to, wiggle some more votes from Democrats because the margin is so thin in the Senate. Now, you might be right. I mean, he might be ultimately saying, all right, they might be able to wrestle some votes from me, but I'm going to really rely on Republicans. But has he alienated many in your base for doing so?
Not yet. I mean, okay. I think when you look at DACA, I mean, people want a border security and potentially, part of a wall. But if we can bring Democrats in and we can get to the same page, I mean, that's a good thing. We're not about a party. We're about America and getting the best legislation through. And if we can get Democrats to join us, that's a really good thing. And you get a better package that way. The problem on health care is we're going in two different directions. I mean, as you've heard, Democrats want a single-payer system. And so we're fighting and swimming upstream, and we need, 50 Democrats with the vice president to get this package across the floor. I mean, I look at Rand Paul, and I know right now he's in opposition and calling this Obamacare light. But, Neil, we're in a situation where if we do nothing, you're going to have full-fledged Obamacare on the pathway to single-payer, as opposed to let's scale this back and give more control to governments that are closer to the people, which is, I think, the smartest way to move forward. And I think Republican and Democrat senators went home over the August break, and the people that walked doors for them to get them elected or gave them 25 or 50 bucks came to them and said, what the hell are you doing? We sent you there to fulfill your promise of fixing health care. Our premiums are skyrocketing, and you're just sitting there fighting and at loggerheads. Figure this thing out. And I think they've come back to Washington with a renewed sense of purpose to find a pathway forward on health care. And that's why you're seeing this new life in a new plan in the Senate.
I know you've been extremely busy today, Congressman, but have you had a chance to react to the president and his comments on North Korea, the Rocket Man thing, where really to take it all the way to North Korea if we have to, hinting of unilateral action if the UN doesn't get its act together? My interpretation, sir, doesn't necessarily isn't the real one, but what do you make of that?
I didn't get to hear it all. I got to hear bits and pieces of it. But listen, I thought the president was crystal clear. We want the nations of the world to come together and help us on North Korea. And if they don't, he laid out pretty clearly where we're going to go, which is an absolute decimation of North Korea. And that is the last option. It's the worst option. But the option is on the table. And I think that was shocking for world leaders to hear today. But again, in Donald Trump fashion, crystal clearly delivering the American first message, which they're not used to hearing, which was, I thought, pretty cool.
All right. Congressman, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it. Sean Duffy, beautiful state of Wisconsin.